Most salespeople suck at selling. And I know this because I used to be one of those guys. For the first 10, 12 years of my sales career, knocking doors, picking up the phone, and selling stuff, I didn't really ever experience real sales success. In this video, I'm going to show you how I changed that and joined the top 1% of all income earners. And I'm going to show you some paycheck stubs over a short period of time where I was able to earn $325,000 in just straight up earned sales commissions in only 3 months. And I'm going to share with you 4 things that you can do, that you can implement, that you can take action on, that if you do and you do implement, you might very well put yourself in the top 1% of all salespeople. By the way, my name is Jordan Stupar, and if you're new here to the channel, all I do is talk about sales. So that sales individuals and business owners with sales teams can 2x, 3x, and 4x their revenue, their income, and their sales by implementing what I like to call microprocesses, which we'll have to talk about a little bit later. If you're coming back to this channel, then welcome back. Pay attention, buckle up, grab a pen, a pencil, a crayon, or something to take some notes, because I am going to be giving you some game right now. The very first thing I want to do is share with you a couple paycheck stubs from back in the day when I was a full commission salesperson. I'm going to show you right here that in October of 2016, I was able to take home $32,000.97 in sales commissions. The next month in November, I took home $24,058.89, and honestly, that was a very low paycheck for me at the time in my sales career, and I really honestly didn't allow myself to go out for dinner, believe it or not, as a punishment for not hitting my normal standard. Then in December, in the front half of December, I was able to take home a check for $18,319.54, and in the second half of December, I took home a check for $188,000 and some change. So if you combine the front half and the back half of December, I actually made over $200,000 in earned sales commissions. And in January of 2017, I took home $64,005.21. I share these receipts with you not to brag or flex too hard or anything outside of the fact that there may be a way that I could teach you a thing or two about making some more money in sales. So again, like I said, pay attention. That type of income right there represents being in the top 1% of all income earners here in the United States, making more money than people that you think make a lot of money, like doctors and lawyers. And so pay attention. I'm going to give you 4 things right now that you can implement into your sales process, your life, your business, that will put you, if you use it, into the top 1%. The very first thing that you can implement and do to make more money and outsell 99% of salespeople is something that I picked up based on my transition from being a brokey salesperson to making $325,000 in just 3 months and living a better life. And the very first thing that I took action on was action. It was my level of activity, okay? Most salespeople, I'm talking about 99% of salespeople, do not take enough action. I literally just had somebody join my inner circle to come work with me. They're pretty successful, but we jumped on our introductory onboarding call so I could kind of get to know them and what their process is. And I found out that they were only reaching out to 20 to 25 people a day to sell their product to. And so the very first conversation we had was about taking their level of activity north. The truth is that sales truthfully is a numbers game. Obviously, yes, there's some strategies, approaches, some advanced stuff, and a bunch of things that I share. But at the end of the day, none of those things matter if you're not giving yourself enough at-bats. Truth be told, I haven't really played baseball in my entire life. I was more of a soccer guy. But I know that if you dropped me on, say, the Milwaukee Brewers right here, and you put me at the plate, I'm going to strike out 100% of the time. Not because I suck at hitting the ball, but because I suck at hitting the ball when there's a limitation of only receiving 3 strikes before sitting my ass down on the bench. If we got rid of that rule and I could swing at as many balls as I wanted to, I know that sooner or later you could put a blindfold on me and I could probably be a little bit tipsy. And I would probably still, sooner or later, after 100, 1,000, 10,000, a million pitches, knock one out of the park. Sales, same exact thing. If you're newer in the game right now, just have higher levels of activity so that you can accelerate your skill development so that you can bring more quality to each interaction. If you've been in sales for a while, you've been focused on your skills, whatever, still keep the same level of activity so that you can make more money. I'm not entirely sure what this level of action looks like for you or what's really possible. Maybe you're in inside sales on an auto dialer and you can make 300 phone calls in a day. Make 300 phone calls in a day. Fill up your pipeline. If you're knocking doors, see how many doors you can actually knock in a 8, 9, 10 hour period while you're out knocking your hood. Whatever it is, stop being a bitch. Stop making excuses and stop doing what's easiest. Knocking a door, picking up a phone, going to a meeting, talking to a decision maker is literally easy, okay? You do it every single time you call your mom or you call one of your friends. Why not call a prospect that could actually make you some more money? Get my point? The second thing that you can do to become a top 1% salesperson is this little thing called follow-up. Now, I've made some other videos about follow-up, and I'll link one up here so that you can get the gist of why most people drop the ball here. But honestly, sit back, watch this video real quick, and think to yourself, how good are you at actually following up? More importantly, if I happen to be one of your prospects and you were trying to, sell me, and I didn't buy the first time, what does your follow-up process actually look like? And how are you creating a sales experience? And more importantly, how are you building a relationship with me? When I was going and making tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on a monthly basis at my last commission-only sales job, I wasn't closing at 80%, but I was closing at nearly 100% given enough time with a customer. The truth is that every single person that you spend time with and you talk to and they inquiry or they do a sales pitch with you, it means that they have a problem that they've been aware of for a long enough period of time to invest some of their time at finding a solution for it. And if they don't find a solution for it with you on the spot, it is highly likely that they're going to find a solution for that problem sooner or later. It might be 3 minutes, might be 3 days, 3 weeks, could be 3 years. The point is that if you can learn how to follow up professionally, if you can learn how to follow up and you can engage that customer over a period of time, sooner or later, all that follow-up is going to fill up a massive pipeline that is going to explode on you. In this month of December, when I made $188,000, it wasn't because I just was crushing closing on every one call close. This was me stacking up a serious pipeline, working my ass off, and really staying connected to a lot of people so that I could close all those deals. Some of these deals came from 3 years previously. Some deals came from 3 months previously. Some of these were same day sales or closes, but this whole number, this $188,000 that I earned, it was all because I followed up. The third thing that separates the 1%ers from the 99%ers is the way that they handle objections, okay? There's a million videos on YouTube about how to handle objections and all these fake ass gurus doing these one call closes on YouTube when really they're all just scripted. If you really believe that those are just live calls, then you need more help than I can give you. But the way that you handle objections / act or behave inside the close with the customer will absolutely separate you from the 1% or keep you in the 99% of suckers that don't get what they want out of the sales game. One thing that I can recommend is that you grab a deck of cash cards, flashcards for closers, so that I can provide you with 50 different sales objections and 50 scripted proven responses that you can use and you can memorize, internalize, and personalize and use in closing. I've sold over probably 90,000 decks to customers in about 48 different countries, and we got hundreds of 5-star reviews, so I don't need to pitch it that hard. Go grab a deck, click the link in my description, and get your hands on one of those, and I can promise you those will help you close better, and handle objections. One other thing worth mentioning when it comes to objections and closing is that usually there's this thing called psychological nuances that happen in the close. And of course, that's like a 3-hour long video that I'd have to record. And maybe one of these days I'll actually do it. But for right now, it's important for you to understand how to transfer yourself into your customer's shoes when they're giving you those objections, and to really be mindful and to think about what's happening when you're fielding objections in the close. And also understand that one of the main reasons why you're hearing objections is because objections exist in the absence of perceived value, not actual value. What you sell is valuable, but if you can't really articulate and communicate to your buyer what the value is, then they will not perceive as much value as you're trying to get them to. And of course, they're going to want to think about it, they're going to want to shop around, and they're going to think that you're a commodity and try to go somewhere else to save some money. Whatever the issue is, understand that your sales pitch and your presentation is really your moneymaker. The fourth thing that you can be aware of and implement to put yourself in the top 1% is a little bit of what I was just hinting at, and that is mastering. I'm not just saying get better at, I'm saying mastering your sales pitch. Okay? Here's the truth. Most salespeople, in the 99%, on average, this is according to gong.io, this is a real statistic, you can look it up. The lowest closers, the worst salespeople, are going to spend about 80% of the sales interaction just talking, featuring, vomiting, and just not really controlling the sale. They just keep on going and going. The best closers, the people at the top 1%, the people that are cashing the big checks, they only talk, on average, 40% of the sales interaction, which means that the customer is probably closing themselves, the customer is probably having more of a conversation, the customer is probably answering open-ended questions, and all you're really doing as a top 1% salesperson is you're just listening, you're just shutting up. You got your iPad for notes or a sheet of paper or whatever, and you're literally just taking little notes that you're going to recall and use later on throughout that sales presentation to bring up more questions that help carefully point you in the direction of going into the sale. Now, obviously, there are a million and one moving parts when it comes to mastering your sales pitch. And honestly, if you keep on coming back to this channel and you find any of this to be even just a little bit valuable, then I would highly recommend that you click one of the links in the description and get a hold of me and my team so that we can properly show you some real processes and micro processes that you can drop within your pitch so that you can get better at it. Hey, if you're getting any value from this video or any of my other content and it's helping you grow your sales and make more money, then now would be a good time to hit the subscribe button below so you never miss out on any future content and can continue building your business. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join the 1% of top earners here in the country as a sales professional, it boils down to taking more action than what you're currently taking. I can't make it simpler. It is literally that black and that white. If you're only making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 calls or knocking doors, or you just know that you're not giving yourself enough at-bats, like my baseball analogy, then guess what? You're going to be limiting your income, and yes, you're going to be stuck in the 99% of suckers that don't get what they want out of the sales game. Second thing that you must be doing is thinking creatively, thinking about engaging ways to follow up with people for whatever period of time it takes for them, again, to finally conclude that they're ready to solve the problem they have with your solution. And when you're that person that hangs around and you've built that relationship with them, what are they going to do? They're going to buy with you. The third thing, like I mentioned, is you must get confident. You must have a plan. You must have a script, and you must be able to role play so that when somebody tells you that they need to think about it, talk to their spouse, talk to their business partner, that they're going to shop around, you're too expensive, the price is too high, the monthly payment's too high, they don't want to sign a contract, they want some type of guarantee, blah, 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 that you know what to say. Because if you don't know what to say, all you're going to do is you're going to literally transfer a lack of confidence to your customer. And at the ground floor of what you're doing in sales, all you're doing is transferring your confidence and your certainty to that person so that they can make a decision. And of course, the final thing is spend way more time than you think you have to mastering your sales pitch, figuring out better questions to ask, figuring out how to flow, figuring out how to take control of the sales pitch, and making sure that you're bringing the right value so that your customer perceives the level of value that they need to see in order to exchange their hard-earned dollars with you. And if you do these 4 things and you actually work on this, and you actually take more action, and you actually have a follow-up process, and you grab some cash cards and you do some role playing and you master your sales pitch, then guess what? There's nothing stopping you from reaching the top 1% of all salespeople and cashing some checks that look a little bit like this. Whether it exists for you in the market that you serve right now or not, you're still going to be at the top 1%. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit the subscription button, like this video, but comment down below. Did I miss anything? I don't think that I maybe did, although there are some other things I could talk about, but these would be the main 4 things that I would use to hit the top 1%. I'll see you guys next time. Hey, it's Jordan Stupar. Thanks so much for watching my content. If you enjoyed it, now would be a good time as well to hit the subscribe button so that you never miss a beat. And by the way, if you're truly interested in taking your team, your sales, and revenue to $10 million and beyond, then I would encourage you to hit the link in the description so that you can chat with us. We're looking for a couple more businesses here in 2025 where we can help double your sales and take you to $10 million a year. We do a whole lot more than just YouTube, and I would love to connect with other ambitious, growth-oriented entrepreneurs like yourself. If nothing else, I'll see you in the next video.